He needed the money for a crypto investment. That's what my son told me when I discovered the truth. But that single sentence unraveled everything I thought I knew about my family. My name is Marcus. I'm 64 years old. And until 3 months ago, I thought I had raised a decent son. I was wrong. Imagine this, your own child steals the one treasure tying you to your past. What would you do? Keep watching Velvet Reckoning to find out. My wife, Linda, passed away those years ago after 41 years of marriage. Pancreatic cancer took her in 6 months. The doctors said it was aggressive. That's the word they used. Aggressive. Acid cancer could be anything else. We had plans, Linda and I. We were going to travel across Canada, maybe drive down the Pacific Coast Highway, visit the grandkids more often. We had saved for it, planned for it, and then she was gone. The only thing I kept from her belongings, the one item that meant more to me than anything else, was my father's pocket watch. It wasn't even hers originally. It belonged to my dad, who gave it to me when I turned 21. But Linda had it restored as a gift for our 20th anniversary. She had it cleaned, repaired, made it shine like new. She knew how much it meant to me. That watch had been in my family for 3 generations. My grandfather carried it through World War II. My father carried it on his wedding day. He carried it on mine. After Linda died, I kept that watch in a wooden box on my dresser. Every morning I'd open the box, hold the watch, feel the weight of it. The gold case was warm in my palm. He could hear the tick, steady and sure. It reminded me that time kept moving, even when you wanted it to stop. My son Trevor and his wife Amber moved in 6 months after Linda's funeral. Used temporarily, they said they were between places. Trevor had quit his job at the marketing firm. Said he was starting his own consulting business. Needed time to get it off the ground. He understood, or I thought I did. It was my son. You help family. They moved into Linda's craft room. He had left it exactly as it was. Her sewing machine still had thread in it. Her knitting basket sat by the window. Amber looked at it all and said it was too cluttered. She wanted to redecorate. Make it more minimalist, she said. He told her no. That room stayed as it was. The first few weeks were fine. Trevor was on his laptop constantly taking calls, talking about clients and marketing strategies. Amber got a part-time job at a boutique in Kitalano. They paid for groceries sometimes. They were respectful mostly. I lived in a 3-bedroom house in East Vancouver. He had the space. What did it matter? But weeks turned into months. Trevor's business never seemed to materialize. Amber quit her job. Said the manager was toxic. They stopped paying for groceries. I'd come home from my morning walks to find them still in bed at 11. The kitchen would be a mess, dishes piled in the sink. When I mentioned it, Trevor would get defensive. Said they were stressed. Said I didn't understand how hard it was to start a business. I'm a retired high school English teacher. I spent 37 years teaching teenagers how to read critically and write clearly. I understand stress. I understand hard work. What I was seeing wasn't either of those things. Still, I kept quiet. Linda always said I was too soft with Trevor. Maybe she was right. She used to handle the discipline, the tough conversations. He was the one who gave in, who wanted everyone to be happy. With her gone, I didn't know how to push back. 3 months into their stay, I started noticing things going missing. Small things at first. A roll of quarters I kept in my desk drawer. 20 pesos from my wallet. He thought maybe I was misremembering. I'm 64, not senile, but grief does strange things to your mind. He let it go. 10 bigger things. Linda's good blender disappeared from the kitchen. Trevor said he had borrowed it for Amber's smoothie thing. It never came back. A set of power tools from my garage. My winter coat. Every time I asked, there was an excuse. They borrowed it. They lent it to a friend. They get it back. He should have known better. But here's where it gets shocking, the heirloom that survived wars, sold for crypto? Stay with Velvet Reckoning as the betrayal deepens. It was a Tuesday morning in October when I realized my father's watch was gone. He had my routine. Every morning after breakfast, I'd go to my room, open the wooden box, and hold the watch just for a moment. It grounded me, reminded me of where I came from. The box was still there on my dresser, but when I opened it, the velvet interior was empty. My stomach dropped. He stood there staring at the empty space where the watch should have been. Maybe I had moved it. Maybe I had put it somewhere else and forgotten. I searched my room under the bed, in the closet, through every drawer. Nothing. He went downstairs. Trevor and Amber were in the living room, both on their phones. He tried to keep my voice steady. Trevor, have you seen my father's watch? He didn't even look up. No. Why would I? It's missing. It was in my room and now it's gone. That got his attention. He glanced at Amber, then back at his phone. You don't know, Dad. Maybe you moved it. I didn't move it. It was in the box on my dresser. Where it always is. Amber sighed. The kind of exasperated sigh that said I was being dramatic. Marcus, maybe you should check again. You know how you get confused sometimes. I'm not confused. The watch is gone. Trevor finally put down his phone. Okay, we'll help you look. I'm sure it's around somewhere. We searched the house. Trevor went through the motions, barely looking. Amber stayed on the couch. After 20 minutes, I stood in the hallway, trying to calm the panic rising in my chest. Where is it? Where is it? Trevor shrugged. You don't know, Dad. Things don't just disappear. Maybe you put it in a safety deposit box or something. He never put it in a safety deposit box. It was on my dresser. Then I saw it. Used a flick. A quick glance between Trevor and Amber. She looked away too fast. He cleared his throat. What? He said, what was that? What was what? That look. You two just looked at each other. Trevor held up his hands. Dad, you're being paranoid. We don't know where your watch is. But I knew in that moment, standing in my own hallway, I knew the missing money, the blender, the tools. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't me being forgetful. Tell me the truth, Trevor. Do you know where my watch is? He hesitated. Used a second, but it was enough. He saw it in his eyes. Trevor, I said again, my voice harder now. Where is my father's watch? He looked at Amber. She gave him a tiny nod. Okay, he said. Okay, fine. He sold it. The room tilted. He grabbed the wall to steady myself. You what? He sold it, Dad. He needed the money. You needed the money. That was my father's watch. That was your grandfather's watch. I know, but I needed cash fast. There was this opportunity, this crypto thing, and I needed to get in before the price went up. It was a sure thing, Dad. He was going to make enough to buy the watch back and then some. You sold your grandfather's watch for cryptocurrency? Trevor's face hardened. Don't make it sound like that. It was an investment. A smart investment. And it's not like you were doing anything with it. It was just sitting there. Used sitting there. It was the only thing I had left of my father. Linda had it restored for me. It was priceless to me. Amber spoke up from the couch. It's just a watch, Marcus. It's not like it had sentimental value to Trevor. He barely knew his grandfather. He turned to her, anger flooding through me now. How dare you? How dare you tell me what has value in my own house? She rolled her eyes. Oh, here we go. The drama. Where did you sell it? Trevor crossed his arms. A pawn shop on East Hastings. Which one? He told me the name. He grabbed my keys and my coat. Where are you going? Trevor asked. To get my father's watch back. He laughed. Good luck with that. He sold it 2 weeks ago, it's probably gone by now. He drove to the pawn shop. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. 2 weeks. He had sold it 2 weeks ago and said nothing. Had been living in my house, eating my food, using my electricity, and he had stolen from me and said nothing. The pawn shop was in a rough part of East Hastings. Barred windows, neon sign flickering. He'd never been inside a place like this. He pushed open the door. A bell chimed. The shop smelled like old electronics in desperation. A woman stood behind the counter, maybe 40, with short gray hair and sharp eyes. She looked up from her phone. Help you? I'm looking for a pocket watch. Gold case about this big. It would have been pawned about 2 weeks ago. She frowned it. We get a lot of stuff through here. You gotta take it? No. My son sold it. Trevor read. You need to buy it back. She typed something into her computer. Let me check. That's the last name again? Reed. Trevor read. She scrolled. Yeah, we got a gold pocket watch from a Trevor Reed. Brought it in on October 3rd day. Is it still here? She checked something else. Yeah, it's here, but it's been appraised. If you want to buy it back, it's going to cost you. How much did my son get for it? She looked at the screen. 400. Y ella gave you 400 to buy it back. She shook her head. It's not that simple. We had it appraised by a specialist. It's vintage, good condition. We're selling it for 1,200. 1,200? That's 3 times what you gave him. That's how pawn shops work. We buy low, sell high. If you want it, it's $1,200. I didn't have $1,200 just sitting around. My pension covered my living expenses, but I didn't keep that kind of cash available. Can I at least see it? She hesitated, then nodded. She went to a back room and came back with the watch. My father's watch. She set it on the counter. He reached for it, but she pulled it back. Look, don't touch. But I could see it. The gold case slightly worn. The chain, the hands frozen at 3:47. It was real. It was here. Please, I said, that watch belonged to my father. It's been in my family for 3 generations. My son had no right to sell it. She softened slightly. You get it. You really do. But I can't just give it back. You paid your son $400. If I give it to you for $400, I'm out that money plus the appraisal fee. What if I pay you $500? 600? She considered. The best I can do is 800. That barely covers my costs. He didn't have 800 either. Not immediately, but I could get it. He could withdraw it from my savings. Okay, 800. But I need a day to get the money. She nodded. He can hold it for 24 hours, but after that, it goes on the floor for sale at 1,200. Thank you. Thank you so much. She wrote something on a piece of paper and handed it to me. This is the whole receipt. Bring it back with the cash tomorrow. He took the receipt. As I turned to leave, she called out, Hey, wait. He stopped. When I appraised the watch, I noticed something. The case, it opens. Did you know that? What do you mean? Here, let me show you. She picked up the watch and pressed a tiny button on the side. The back case popped open. Inside was a folded piece of paper. There is something in here. I didn't read it. Figured it was personal. She carefully pulled out the paper and handed it to me. It was old, yellowed, folded into a tiny square. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. The handwriting was Linda's. My dearest Marcus, if you're reading this, then something has happened to me, and you've needed to open this watch. He had this engraving done and placed this letter inside 6 months before I got sick. I know you're probably confused, but I need you to understand something. Trevor is not the son we hoped he would be. I've seen it for years, and I know you have, though. Even if you won't admit it, he's selfish, Marcus. He only comes around when he needs something. He doesn't call to see how we are. He doesn't visit because he misses us. I know you love him. He's our son. But love doesn't mean letting someone take advantage of you. You've always been too kind, too trusting. It's one of the things I love most about you. But it's also your weakness. If you're reading this, if the watch is gone or if something else has happened, I need you to be strong. Stand up for yourself. Protect what's yours. Don't let anyone, not even Trevor, walk all over you. I love you more than anything in this world. But when I'm gone, you need to take care of yourself. Not everyone deserves your kindness. All my love, Linda. I stood there in that pawn shop reading my wife's words, and something inside me broke open. She had known those years before she died, she had known Trevor would do something like this. She had tried to warn me to protect me even after she was gone. The woman behind the counter watched me quietly. You okay? I folded the letter carefully and put it in my pocket. I will be, I said. I'll be back tomorrow with the money. A secret letter from beyond the grave changes everything. Don't miss the Revenge on Velvet reckoning. I drove home in silence. My mind was racing. Linda had seen it. She had seen what I refused to see. Trevor wasn't going through a rough patch. He wasn't struggling to get his business started. It was using me. When I got home, Trevor and Amber were in the living room. Trevor looked up. Did you get it back? Not yet. I need $800. He laughed. 800 pesos? Good luck with that. I looked at him. Really looked at him. When had my son become this person? This stranger who could steal from his own father and laugh about it? You're going to pay me back, I said. Every dollar. Trevor leaned back on the couch. Sure, Ed. When my crypto investment pays off, I'll pay you back. You're going to pay me back now. Or you're going to move out. Amber sat up. Excuse me. You heard me. You've been living here rent-free for 6 months. You've stolen from me. You sold something that wasn't yours. I want you out. Trevor stood up. You're kicking us out because of a watch? Are you serious? It's not just the watch. It's everything. The money, the tools, the disrespect. I'm done. And where are we supposed to go? Trevor demanded. That's not my problem. You're 35 years old. You're a grown man. Figure it out. Amber's voice went shrill. This is unbelievable. We're a family. You can't just kick us out. I can. And you have 1 week to find somewhere else to live. Trevor's face went red. You're going to regret this. The only thing I regret is letting you stay this long. I went to my room and closed the door. My heart was pounding. I pulled out Linda's letter and read it again. She was right. She was right about all of it. The next morning, I went to the bank and withdrew $800 from my savings. I tried to take that money out, but the watch was worth more than that. It was worth everything. I returned to the pawn shop. The woman greeted me with a nod. You came back. I came back. I counted out the cash. She counted it again, nodded, and went to the back room. When she returned, she handed me the watch. "It's yours." He held it in my hand, felt the weight of it. "Thank you. Good luck with everything." He went home. Trevor and Amber's bedroom door was closed. He didn't care. He went to my room, placed the watch back in its wooden box, and closed the lid. But it wasn't over. That evening, I heard them arguing in their room. Rasped voices, sharp and angry, about me, about money, about what they were going to do. He ignored it. The next morning, I came downstairs to find my living room trashed, couch cushions torn, books swept off the shelves, picture frames smashed, Linda's photo from our wedding, the glass shattered. Trevor and Amber were gone. So was my laptop, my TV, the silver candlesticks Linda's mother had given us, even the good dishes. He called the police. They came, took a report, told me it would be difficult to prove anything without evidence. He told them my son and his wife had done it. They said he'd need proof. He went to the bank and closed the joint account I'd opened years ago with Trevor. He had drained it. 2,000 pesos gone. Money he had been saving for property taxes. That was when I stopped being soft. Linda's letter had said to stand up for myself. It was time to do that. I called a lawyer, Margaret Chun, who had an office in New Westminster. He explained everything, the theft, the destruction, the stolen money. She listened, made notes. "This is going to be messy," she said. "Family cases always are, but you have options. We can file for restitution, get a restraining order, pursue criminal charges for theft and property damage. You want all of it?" She nodded. "I need you to document everything. Make a list of what was stolen and destroyed. If you have receipts or photos, even better." I have photos. Linda was meticulous. She photographed everything for insurance purposes. That did you help. I'm also going to recommend you install security cameras. If they come back, we need evidence. He installed a Ring doorbell camera that afternoon. 2 more cameras inside covering the living room and kitchen. I wasn't taking chances. 3 days later, Trevor showed up. I watched him on my phone as he rang the doorbell, pressed it repeatedly. I didn't answer. He tried the door locked. He started yelling, "Dad, open up. We need to talk." He texted him. "I have nothing to say to you. My lawyer will be in contact." He swore at the camera and left, but he came back that night. He watched on my phone as he and Amber tried to break in through the back door. The motion sensor light came on. They ran. He sent the footage to my lawyer and the police. The police called Trevor in for questioning. He denied everything. But the video didn't lie. Margaret filed a civil suit. We went to court in December. Trevor showed up with a lawyer he clearly couldn't afford. He claimed I had given him permission to sell the watch, that I had told him to take the laptop, and his lawyer tried to paint me as a bitter old man making false accusations. But I had evidence. He had the pawn shop transaction records showing Trevor sold the watch without my permission. He had the Ring camera footage showing him trying to break in. I had bank statements showing the drained account. He had photos of the destroyed living room. The judge wasn't impressed with Trevor's excuses. In January, the ruling came down. Trevor was ordered to pay me $8,000 in restitution for the stolen items and property damage. He was also issued a restraining order. He couldn't come within 100 metros of my home. 8,000 pesos. He didn't have it. I knew he didn't have it, but the judgment was on record. If he ever got his act together, came into money, I'd be first in line to collect. More importantly, he was out of my life. He sold the house in March. It was too big, too full of memories, both good and bad. I didn't need 3 bedrooms and a garage. I found a small 2-bedroom condo in White Rock, right near the water. 55 plus community, quiet, peaceful. He set up the 2nd bedroom as a workshop. Bought tools to replace the ones Trevor had stolen. Started working with wood again, something I hadn't done since before Linda got sick. Small projects at first, roses, picture frames, then bigger things, a bookshelf, a coffee table. It was therapeutic. The smell of sawdust, the sound of the saw, the satisfaction of creating something with my own hands. For the first time in those years, I felt like myself again. I kept my father's watch in the workshop on a shelf where I could see it. Every morning I'd pick it up, hold it, listen to the tick. Time keeps moving, life keeps going. He thought about Linda's letter often. She had known Trevor would do something like this. She had tried to protect me. And in a way, she had. That letter had given me the strength to stand up for myself, to stop being the soft, accommodating father who let his son walk all over him. I didn't hear from Trevor for months. Then in June, I got an email. It was brief. Dad, I'm sorry. He messed up. I know I can't undo what I did, but I'm trying to do better. He got a real job now, working at a warehouse. Ambir and I split up. I'm living with a friend in Surrey. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I wanted you to know I'm sorry. He read it 3 times. Part of me wanted to respond, to forgive, to give him another chance. That was the old Marcus, the one who always gave in, who always wanted everyone to be happy. But Linda's words echoed in my head. Love doesn't mean letting someone take advantage of you. I didn't respond. Maybe someday I would. Maybe someday Trevor would actually change, would actually show me through his actions that he was sorry. But words weren't enough. Not anymore. I spent my days working in my shop, walking along the beach, having coffee with my neighbors. I joined a woodworking club in the community center, made friends with people who shared my interests, who respected me, who didn't see me as a source of money or resources. One afternoon, I was at my workbench sanding down a jewelry box I was making when my neighbor George stopped by. He was 72, a retired engineer, a good man. That's beautiful work, he said, examining the box. Thanks. It's for my granddaughter. Her birthday's next month. George nodded. You know, you seem different than when you first moved in later somehow. He thought about that. Yeah, I said. I guess I am. Ismail. It's good to see. Life's too short to carry other people's weight. It was right. Life was too short. Linda had known that. She had spent her last months trying to make sure I knew it, though. He finished the jewelry box and mailed it to my granddaughter in Toronto. She sent me a video of her opening it, her face lighting up. That's my grandson, she said, pointing to the engraving I'd done inside the lid. Ma did this just for you. Love, Grandpa Marcus. She called me to thank me. We talked for an hour about school, her friends, her plans for university. She asked about Trevor. He told her the truth. We're not in contact right now. She said she understood. She was a smart kid, smarter than her father. I keep Linda's letter in the wooden box with my father's watch. Sometimes I take it out and read it. It reminds me of who she was, how well she knew me, how much she loved me. It also reminds me that love means different things. Sometimes love means letting go. Sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes love means protecting yourself. I'm 64 years old. I've been a teacher, a husband, a father. I've made mistakes, trusted the wrong people, been too soft when I should have been firm. But I'm learning. Every day I'm learning. My father's watch sits on my workshop shelf. It ticks steadily, marking time. 3 generations have carried that watch. My grandfather, my father, me. I don't know if I'll pass it on to Trevor. Maybe not. Maybe it ends with me. Or maybe someday if he proves himself, if he shows me he's changed, I'll give him one more chance. But that day isn't today. Today I'm building a bookshelf for my living room. Today I'm having coffee with George. Today I'm walking along the beach watching the sun set over the water. Today I'm at peace. And that more than anything else is what Linda would have wanted for me. If this story of betrayal and redemption hit home, subscribe to Velvet Reckoning for more real-life reckonings that will leave you speechless.